couple weeks ago I was in the United States and I ran into a friend of mine from high school, and she was telling me that she would really love to spend a lot of time in Italy. And so I wanted to make this video for her and for you to let you know how you could do something like that. First of all, you have to think of the financial aspects of nomad life. Now, I've actually created a video before about how much savings you need as a nomad, and it's not going to be as much as you think. So as long as you have some money in the bank, you're already on the right path. Next, you should be working online, and I've made some videos about that too. You need to have that remote income. Of course, there are ways to make money that you don't have to do online, where you could work in another country, but Italy is one of those places where I wouldn't really recommend doing that, because if you're going to work in Italy, then you're going to be paying Italian taxes, and that's not going to improve your situation much. So I would just initially recommend having that online income and then spending as much time as you can in Italy without actually moving into the country, because you really don't want to put yourself into the claws of their tax system, because they will not let you go. So that's when you have to start considering the visa programs. Now, Italy is part of the Schengen visa program. That means that you can get into Italy for 90 days out of every 180 days. So you can imagine you can spend at least about 6 months of the year in Italy or a place like that without having to actually live there. So what are you going to do with your time while you can't be in Italy? Well, what I would do personally is I would go look for a place that's much more tax friendly than either Italy or the United States, but will still let you stay there for a long time. So you might want to consider a place like Albania or the Republic of Georgia or Armenia. All these places will let Americans in, and they will give you a very tax-friendly location to live, so you can spend most of your time there and not have to pay your Italian taxes. Another thing I would recommend that you do, and that I would do personally if I wanted to spend a lot of time in Italy, is learn Italian. Now, it's not just important that you learn Italian to communicate with people, but learning the local language is going to save you a lot of money in the long run. You're not going to get scammed as often, number one, but number two, you're also going to be able to find accommodations that are a lot less expensive, because you have an advantage over all the tourists who have to use Airbnb, who have to use some kind of agent. They can't walk around and talk to people and find the accommodations at local prices. And just more on that, I would say do not get stuck like I did. You know, the first time I moved to Mexico, I was just like, hey, I'm gonna move to this specific location, I'm gonna live exactly here. Well, I kind of stuck myself and I ended up in not a great situation. I've talked about that before. So what I'm doing now, and what I would recommend to you, is spending more time looking around, trying out new cities, maybe a month at a time, maybe 2 weeks at a time. Give them a fair shot. Don't get committed to one place too quickly. Let yourself spread out and explore, and then over time, maybe even the third or fourth time that you go to Italy, then you're gonna really know where you want to stay full time. And that really gives us more of the long-term perspective. While it's gonna be more expensive to do that, and you're gonna be able to save money if you actually just stay in one spot, I would still recommend giving yourself a little bit of freedom to explore and then commit to one place. And then just keep two really important things in mind when it comes to the financial aspects, which is how many flights are you taking every year? Try to take as few as possible. So if you do just want to spend, say, 3 months in Italy and then 6 months in Armenia and then back to Italy for 3 months, there's nothing wrong with that, because then you're just taking a couple flights every year and it really keeps your costs down. And then just keep that mindset of, while you're exploring, you're looking for that place where you'd like to really lock yourself down for a little bit more of the long term, because that is going to save you money when you don't have to be bouncing around. You know exactly where you're going to go and exactly where you're going to live in Italy.